guys, it's 𝗃_𝗏 back with another video and back with another question from a viewer. This one is from 𝗙cie_𝗿. Hi 𝗙cie_𝗿. 𝗙cie_𝗿 is a frequent commenter and visitor on my channel and always has good questions. And of course, that doesn't mean that none of you have good questions. You all have good questions for me. But today I'm picking one from 𝗙cie_𝗿. It's a pretty good one. So let's dive right into it. 𝗙cie_𝗿 writes, my question is, what should you do if you manifested one of your deepest fears with your specific person? We're not together currently, and I've been doing the self-work, or so I thought, but one of my fears still manifested. Well, you know, I want to stop right there. It goes on, but I'm going to stop right there and just mention something that's very important to understand, okay? Just because you're manifesting something or you're seeing something in your external reality that is sort of still kind of a reflection of an old pattern of thinking or an old pattern of behavior that you had going on, but now you've switched things up, okay? You've kind of started to feel better, do some of the self-love practicing, going about your own business, not trying to interfere with the process so much, okay? Feeling that everything is okay just as it is while reaching for more, okay? You can't want this stuff or your desire or your specific person from a place of needing it to feel better right now. You got to start feeling better right now about your life and the way things are right now and accepting them the way that they are right now. And from that point, you reach for more, okay? But the thing I want to say about this is, now you may have been doing the self-love and all that kind of stuff for a long time now, or at least for a while now. You've been switching things up and switching things around and feeling better about yourself and feeling better about your life and enjoying your life, whether your specific person is in there or not yet, right? But you're still kind of seeing things showing up that aren't so cool, right? That seem to be about the old way of doing things, and you're wondering what the hell's going on. Well, there's a delay, right? There's always a delay. What you're seeing right now, what you're witnessing right now in your physical reality is playing catch up. Your physical reality always has to play catch up with where you are right now energetically, what you're now offering energetically. And yes, I will say vibrationally, and we're going to do a video about vibration as well, because it's a very important thing to address, but not today, okay? What you're doing in terms of your focus right now is kind of what your reality is going to have to catch up to down the road a little bit, okay? So what you're seeing, you might still see, even though you've switched up your behavior a bit and you're thinking, and you're kind of focusing more on yourself and not so much on them, right? And you're loving yourself more and you're appreciating and enjoying and having fun with your life more. You're still going to see remnants. They're sort of like echoes or shadows of your old way of being, right? That has to sort of play itself out a little bit, okay? It has to play itself out first, okay? Before things can really begin to start rolling in the other direction. So you want to make sure that you remain consistent and persistent in your new state, in your new focus, in your new energetic offering, okay? The thing that we do so often is that we kind of switch things up and we go, okay, I've been having fun for a while and I've been focusing on self-love. And then we look around and we go, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm still seeing the old shit. But the thing is not to get so hung up on that, right? Not to get so hung up on the old shit or even the physical reality as it is. There's always going to be a little bit of a delay. That's kind of the nature of how we play down here in this physical environment here on this planet Earth, okay, is that we come in and we expect there to be a bit of a delay. It's like a live transmission when you watch like a football game or something on the television, like a live game or any kind of live broadcast. You know there's a little bit of a delay going on between what you're seeing through your transmitter, through your television, let's say, and what's happening actually on the field out there if you were sitting there in the audience watching the game, let's say, okay? You know, there's always going to be just, maybe it's like a nanosecond or just a second or two, okay? And even if you have like another TV going, right, and then you can see that there's a little delay even between the two television sets that are broadcasting, let's say, the same program or the same game, right? So look at it that way in terms of your physical reality being like the receiver, like the television set that's beaming the signal out, right? But what's actually happening inside of you, that's something that's it has to catch up to that a little bit, okay? So just because you're still perceiving some things going sideways a little bit or being a little squirrely in your physical reality, even though you switched up your focus, even though you've started thinking more positively, even though you've let go of a lot of your resistance already, the trick is not to become so enamored with it. The trick is not to begin to look around immediately after sort of changing up a little bit internally, changing your internal focus and your state of being for the results, okay? Because that will trip you up again, okay? That's what happens so often with this kind of stuff. People will do the work on themselves, do the self-love, start feeling better, drop a lot of resistance, and then they go, oh, it's not here yet, and then they get right back into that state of mind of, well, it's not going to work, and look what I've done everything, and where is it? Okay, you got to not be so enamored with what you're seeing out there in the physical reality. And remember also, there's things happening behind the scenes, okay? And just because you're from your ego perspective, from your monkey mind perspective, that's a very limited perspective. Your higher self, all right, has a much broader perspective. There's things being switched around, there's people being put in the right places, and circumstances have to unravel and re-ravel in another way, and then this has to be shoved over, and there's no way that your monkey mind can conceive of all the different pieces on the chessboard that have to be placed a certain way. It's just impossible, all right? The slightest little thing has to be adjusted to make this thing happen, to make that thing happen, to make this person go there, and to make that person go there, okay? So you gotta let go of the process, and you gotta understand that just because you're not perceiving a change or perceiving anything changing on the outside, anything improving, so to speak, what's happening is that you're not necessarily, it doesn't mean, in other words, that that's not happening, that there's nothing happening behind the scenes, okay? Because remember, you always know you've made a switch when you've made the switch on the inside. That's where all the magic happens, okay? So if you have been working on your self-love, your self-appreciation, you've been enjoying your life more, you haven't been thinking so much about them, obsessing so much about them, or any desire that you might have, that means you've made a switch. When you react differently to the same situation as you would have before, then you know you've made a switch, okay? That's when you know an actual transition has occurred, all right? So you just stay persistent with it, and you will see your physical reality begin to catch up, all right? And just let the process unfold. Let the chess pieces go where they need to go. Just because you're not perceiving any of that with your physical senses doesn't mean there's nothing happening, okay? There's always stuff happening, all right? Every second, every nanosecond. Your mind isn't designed to look at it all, to be able to see all the pieces, okay? Maybe even like an Einstein might or something like that, but those are rare. It would just drive us crazy if we had to look at all the different little incidences, little chess pieces that needed to be moved around. If we tried to do it all ourselves, it would drive us nuts. And that, in fact, that's why when we do try to do it all ourselves, we do kind of go crazy a little bit, okay? And it's so much easier to just work on yourself, work on your state of being, work on how you react to things, okay? Work on what story you tell yourself as opposed to the previous story you've always told yourself, okay? So that's so much easier to do than to try to switch and push everything around out there in the physical reality. Because remember, it's just a mirror reflecting back to you what your inner state is, what your dominant inner state expectations and beliefs are. So don't be so caught up in all of this out there, okay? Just remember, it's playing catch up with your change, your level of change and transition that you've done now. It's got to play catch up with that. It's slow to catch up to it sometimes. It's got to be okay. If you're really enjoying yourself and you're really doing the work on loving yourself, then it shouldn't matter anyway, because you're so busy having fun in your life, okay? And also, like I said, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so just let that play out, all right? And let the wonderful surprises and the ideas and the opportunities all occur to you, and putting you in the right place at the right time and all that kind of stuff, okay? The universe is moving you around too. You just got to allow it. You got to get out of its way, all right? So, back to the question. Okay, not sure. So yes, but my fear still manifested. Well, those, like I want to say this, it's old news. This is what Abraham says all the time. What you're seeing now in your physical reality is always old news, okay? That's another way to look at it. It's another thing to tell yourself. You're saying, oh, my fear still manifested. Well, maybe these are your old fears, okay? And it doesn't mean, and maybe your fears are still there. They're always going to be there in some measure, to some degree, okay? But what you want to make sure to do is to have the other way of operating, the better way of operating, dominate eliminate that. You want to override that, okay? So you keep practicing feeling calm, being okay with things, loving yourself, enjoying your life, okay? Enjoying it so much and loving yourself so much, you don't have time to think about the fears and the worries, because you know, when do we worry the most? When do we fear the most? When we sit around and we don't seem to have anything to do, right? When we sit around and we think about another person, in this case, a specific person, what are they doing? Who are they with? Do they still love me? Why I haven't heard from them for a while? Oh my God, they blocked me on Facebook. Oh my God, they did this. Oh my God, they haven't texted me in a week, okay? Because what you're doing is, all that time you're sitting around worrying and fearing about them and what they're doing, you're not paying any attention to your own life. You're putting yourself and your life on hold. So in other words, you got nothing else going on in your life. You're sitting around worrying about things, okay? So if you start becoming busy with passions, you find a passion, you find a hobby, you find cool people to hang out with, you love yourself every day, you take care of yourself every day, find a project that you can dive into, okay? Not just for the sake of distracting yourself, but because you actually love doing it. Think about things that you love thinking about that make you feel good, okay? When you do more of that, you're way too busy to sit around and worry about things. Because what is it, like the idle hands or the devil's workshop or something like that, you know? I mean, it kind of is true in a way. It's an old cliche, but it's kind of true, because when you sit around doing nothing but thinking about what it is you don't have, what's going wrong in your life, then you're feeding that fear machine, and that's all that's going to happen. When you do things that you love, you kind of, you know, think about other things, and you let go of your resistance, and you have fun in your life, you enjoy yourself. You don't have time to think about things like that, okay? So, not sure where to go from here. Being that I'm aware I'm the one that created and gave power to this scenario, and although I've physically been minding my business and focusing on myself energetically, I guess that can't be true. Well, it is true. If you feel like you have been minding your own business, focusing on yourself energetically, then you have been, okay? But now you know, like I said, that yes, maybe you did create this scenario, but it was already being created in your old way of operating. It was already coming about. You see what I'm saying? So give it some time to play out. Sometimes these things have to play out, okay? It's kind of like, what is it that Abraham Hicks always has a joke, and somebody says, you know, what if it's too late, I got to pay my bills by Thursday or something like that. And what do they say if you're like if you find yourself falling out of a plane without a parachute? Like, just hang on, it'll be over soon, right? And everybody always laughs because it's so funny. But it's true, though. You know, just sometimes when we've been operating a certain way for so long, on a certain negative kind of slant for so long, or fearful worry slant for so long, and then we suddenly switch things up again, it can feel a little jarring and uncomfortable for your system, okay? But the thing about it is, your physical reality isn't going to just switch it up like that the way you're switching it up. It's not going to happen that quickly, okay? So sometimes it has to sort of, it's got so much momentum going in one direction, okay, that it has to sort of slow down first, or play itself out first and peter out. So that's why it becomes important for you to maintain your new focus, your new energetic offering, okay? Because you want to keep building the momentum in that new direction and fizzle out the momentum in the old direction. But you got to let that fizzle out first. That's why it's so important to not pay attention to your physical reality as you're making those transitions, as it's in the process of manifesting, okay? Because if you keep checking in on it, you'll go right back to feeding that momentum, to feeding that fear machine. So you got to sort of turn it off, okay? Go right back to doing something else. Go right back to thinking other thoughts that make you feel better. Go right back to your passion, your hobby. Call a friend, go out, do anything, okay? And again, not just to distract yourself, not just busy work or something like that. Really find things that you love, engage in them, okay? Think about them so that you have easy things to go to. Think about memories that really make you feel good. It could be from childhood. It could be a vacation you took somewhere to some really awesome place, okay? Put yourself there mentally. Have those things in your toolbox for those moments when your mind wants to go to the physical reality and go, look, see, nothing's happening, I told you, all right? Have your toolbox ready for moments like that, and cut yourself off right there in that moment and go right to the beach that you were on 5 years ago with the nice breeze blowing over you, or that time you went out with your friends, or whatever it is, or that Christmas or whatever as a child. that you loved so much. Whatever it is, think of a time you were with your friend and you laughed your ass off so hard that, you were crying, right? You couldn't see straight, okay? I do that sometimes. I think of old funny moments or jokes or times I spent with friends where it was just, we were just feeling goofy and silly and we had such a good time. We just kept giggling and laughing like idiots, but we felt good. I sometimes go back and I start laughing and smiling to myself as if I'm back there with them, and reliving that moment. Right? And suddenly I feel better. Suddenly I've pointed myself back into another direction. So have those kinds of things in your toolbox, okay? The thing is to not fight against it and push against it so much. The thing is to stop fighting and pushing against anything at all. Stop fighting and pushing against what you don't like. Instead, start thinking of and start nurturing and start watering and start feeding what it is that you do like, okay? And you do that by giving that more attention than that. So you have been minding your business. You have been doing that, okay? Just because you don't see a switch going on in your physical reality right this second or an immediate change up doesn't mean you haven't been doing that. The thing is to not go halfway across the bridge and then turn around. Not go 3/4 of the way across the bridge and then turn around. You're almost there kind of thing, right? But so many of us do that because we become discouraged. Instead of going, oh, look, I'm already almost to the other side of the bridge, we go, damn, I've been walking this bridge for so long and I'm still not there. Fuck it, I'll give up and go back, all right? Going back hurts way more than keeping going, believe me. So keep doing what you've been doing, okay? You will begin to see the physical reality shift. You will begin to see it. But this is the kind of the day 2 phase where you need to be persistent, okay? The day 2 phase is kind of the hardest phase. There's like the day 1 when you decide what it is you want. The day 2 is when you make that switch up, and that's the hardest part because that's kind of the waiting game and things like that. That's usually where people look around and what's been changing, nothing's been changing, well, I'll give up then. That's usually where people throw in the towel with this manifesting stuff, okay? Day 3 is when you see it all come together and you kind of like go, okay, now I get to enjoy. Now I can pay attention to my physical reality because I'm actually getting something reflected back that I enjoy now, okay? So you only want to pay attention to your physical reality when you're enjoying what you're living through. When you're not, focus on how you want things to be. Focus in your imagination, okay? So she continues and finishes up the question. Is this one of those moments I need to ignore my current reality? I guess I just answered that question. And continue, or should I rework my whole approach to how I'm manifesting? I don't think there's anything to rework, really. If you feel like you need to rework your whole approach, then what you're doing is you're kind of still in the mindset and the focus of, I don't have what I want, and therefore I can't be happy. Therefore, I must do something. Something needs to change in order for me to enjoy my life. The thing you want to do is that even if you manifest one of your deepest fears, remember that it's from your old way of operating. That's a remnant. That's a sort of an echo manifestation, okay? It's a shadow of your old way of operating. So you don't want to try to switch anything up right now. Keep doing what you're doing. You will begin to see things change, all right? And just whatever this deepest fear is, trust me, it can't be that bad. All right, to your mind right now, it may seem like the worst thing and there's no way back from it and whatever it is, but it can't possibly be that bad, okay? So just remember, keep focusing on what it is you want and keep focusing on yourself, okay? The real formula and the real trick here is this. If you're feeling really worried about the specific person, you're obsessing about them, you're really feeling the lack of them in your life, so to speak, okay? That's when you want to take your focus off of them and put your focus on other things that are unrelated to them, that make you feel good. Your puppy, your passions, your hobbies, your friends, your job, whatever it is, okay, that makes you feel good, that puts you in the flow, that takes your mind off things. If you want to just sit and think about, purple baubles of some kind and it makes you feel good inside, keep doing that. It doesn't have to do anything, doesn't have anything to do with your specific person in that moment. But then when you begin to feel calm again, all right, when you begin to feel more optimistic, when you feel like you've released a lot of resistance for a while, and then you feel better, you feel more at ease, and you feel like, oh, this is possible, and even if it isn't, I feel okay either way, that's what you're looking for, okay? Then you can put your focus back on them and begin visualizing again and begin sort of using your imagination with them again, okay? You don't want to do that, though, when you're feeling very worried and fearful and looking around and seeing things not the way yet yet that you want them to be, that's when you kind of back off and focus on something else, okay? And when you've calmed down again, go back and focus on them. So you're gonna have to do this little dance a little bit, okay? And you'll learn it though. You'll get the hang of it, and you're already doing it, because when you tell me, I don't know, I've been minding my own business and focusing on myself, but I guess not, because nothing's changing, what I'm seeing is you have been changing. You have been doing the work. You've been doing very well, so just keep going. Okay, 𝗙cie, and that goes for everybody out there. So I hope that answers your question. If you like this video, please hit like, comment, share it with your friends and your social networks, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, please. Also, if you want to leave me a donation, I always appreciate those, and thank you to everyone who has done so. You'll find the links for those down in the description box. You'll find the links for my coaching page down there if you want some coaching with me. And also, you can join the Facebook group. The link for that is down below as well. Okay, guys? So thanks again, and until next time, I am 𝗙C, and happy manifesting. Bye-bye.